Hi there, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm King 5 meteorologist Adam Claybon. Another pretty warm day out there. Saw a lot of 80s, even saw a few 90s pop up this afternoon, but the cooler air is already beginning to make its way in here, and we'll see that and notice that through the night and definitely into the day tomorrow, where we're going to see highs drop by about a good 10 to 15 degrees. And that will be the big noticeable change for our forecast here into the middle part of the week. The other thing that might be at least noticeable in a few spots, showers. Those will move on through the area too. We're going to talk about where exactly we're going to see those here in just a bit. First, let's go ahead and talk about what we saw today. And we saw those temperatures make their way well into the 80s. Bremerton up to 84, 85 in Seattle, 90 degrees there. In Puyallup, a bit cooler and a bit more comfortable up around Bellingham at 77. Cooler out towards the coast with temperatures in more of the low 70s and upper 60s. All right, here at the airport, we topped off at 85 degrees. That's about 10 degrees above where we should normally be for this time of the year. About 10 degrees off, though, of the record high for the day back in 2010, which was at 95 degrees. Our low, not too far off of where we should normally be. 56 is our normal. We dropped down to 58, and you can see the rain gauge showed absolutely nothing out at the airport today. I think we'll get a slight chance, at least a trace amount, heading into the day for tomorrow with some higher chances as you go farther to the north. We'll get into that second. Let's talk about that 7-day forecast. Highs tomorrow in the upper 60s to low 70s. We'll see those temperatures bounce back into more of the mid 70s by Thursday, and then here we go back into more of the summer-like stretch Friday and on into the start, at least, of next week. Out this way towards Westport, it's been anything but summer-like. We've kept a lot of this marine air in place, and that's kept things fairly gloomy here throughout a good portion of the day. So temperatures didn't warm up quite as much there, and didn't really see a whole lot of warming up this way around La Push either. And it's up this way where we have some additional clouds and also some showers that are going to be popping up for us here as we head into the first part of the evening. Staying right here along the line, though. Farther north you go, better chances of seeing a few of those light sprinkles. The farther south you are, getting closer to areas such as Tahola. You might not see the rain until we head into more of the day tomorrow, because the first wave that's going to come through will be more of a light one. We'll have better chances of seeing rain up this way around Bellingham also later tonight and into the day for tomorrow, but down this way around Tacoma, where we have clear skies currently, not much rain going to be on the way for us, but it is going to be a cooler day for Wednesday, and up this way around Everett, beginning to see some of the clouds. We'll talk about our rain chances too coming up here in just a second. All right, last stop here in Seattle. We're sitting at 80 degrees as of about 8 o'clock here into your Tuesday evening. Northwest winds coming in at about 7 miles per hour. Again, we're going to cool down into the night, and that air mass is going to stay more so into the 60s tomorrow, with a lot of those clouds moving in with our system. Here's where we're sitting right now when it comes to our temperature change. You can see that areas that are closer to Puget Sound, or at least South Sound, seeing more of the noticeable difference, because we did see a lot of heat yesterday, and now we're beginning to see that cooler air wrapping around the Olympics. That's why you see conditions down by about a good 3 to 7 degrees. Olympia down by 7 degrees in comparison to at this point yesterday. So yes, we are seeing the cooler air beginning to work its way in here, and that will continue to be the case. Still pretty warm though around Puget Sound. 80 degrees in Seattle, 81 in Puyallup. We're sitting at 79 in Tacoma, and even with the cool down around Olympia, still sitting at 78 degrees, but it's not too far away. Those 60s and 50s just off of the coast right there will be heading their way eastward. Here's a look at where the showers are, and most of those are up that way around more so Clallam County and heading right up into BC over Vancouver Island. Now, this first initial wave is going to fizzle on out. You can already start to see that a lot of that is dying off here as we head into the first part of our Tuesday night. Big picture is, though, we're going to get another plume of moisture that's going to come in, and that's going to help to enhance some of the rain that we'll have, and that will be more so into the time into the day for tomorrow. Another thing I wanted to point out, you can see right there across eastern Oregon, some showers and storms, lightning activity, that's going to head up and try to find its way across eastern Washington, and we do have actually the potential for a higher risk of fire danger heading to the day for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and zoom in for that. Yeah, for some thunderstorm activity, but mainly this is going to be because our winds are going to pick up from out of the west, and that will help to really charge the atmosphere and really bring down some of those humidity values, and anything that does flare up, of course, can get really out of hand fairly quickly. So this red flag warning is with us until 8 p.m. heading into the day tomorrow. There's also a heat advisory in effect. We're going to see temperatures up near the century mark over across that side of the state into tomorrow afternoon. Much more comfortable for us here this side of the mountains. The shower chances, again, those die off as we head into the night for our northern locations. Then once we head on into Tomorrow morning, might be a wet commute up that way around the north side of Highway 101, getting closer to maybe Port Angeles, but better chances from about Tahola northward of seeing some of those showers in place. And you can see that also around Bellingham and parts of northwest interior. Farther south you are, probably going to be a dry commute for us, but we are going to see higher chances of rain beginning to arrive by late tomorrow morning and heading into tomorrow afternoon. By that point, too, you can start to see that we are beginning to have that convergence zone activity develop around Snohomish County. How much rain we get out of that, we'll see. But if it is going to be farther south, that we do see some higher totals of rain, might be Snohomish County, northern parts of King County with that convergence zone activity that will be in place for us. So we continue on. You can see that continuing to pivot farther to the south as we head on into the evening hours. That's Wednesday at 5 p.m. And then as we start to go into tomorrow night, 10 p.m., looks like a lot of the rain is beginning to find its way out of here. We'll have a few light sprinkles as we head on into early Thursday morning, but I think by that time we're really just waiting for the clouds to begin to break apart, and we'll see more sunshine by the afternoon, which will help with our warm-up that we're going to see slightly into the day Thursday. Much more of that to come heading on into the day for your Friday. Now, forecasted rain totals with this, not going to be terribly impressive. Farther north, about a quarter to maybe a half inch in some of those key spots where we see more persistent rain. And then also, too, you can see foothill communities heading up into the mountains, Snohomish County, northern parts of King County. Convergence zone activity will help us out there, too. I know you're seeing a lot of goose eggs on there, a lot of zeros popping up when it comes to rainfall. It's not to say that we don't see anything, but it's going to be really hard to get up to maybe even that 1/10 of an inch where our computer models would show that for you. But a trace amount up to a 1/10 of an inch, better chance of that happening, and rain shadowing definitely playing a part in really keeping and limiting some of the rainfall that we're going to get with this heading on into the day for tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get as much as we can. Other than that, though, enjoy the cool down, because guess what? We'll get another ridge of high pressure to start to build here across the Pacific Northwest. Now, the core of that, in the center of that, is going to stay out across the sea, out there over the Pacific, where you see those deeper and darker reds. If that was more overhead, temperatures will definitely be getting more out of hand, and we would be talking about widespread 90s ahead for us. But we are going to see things warm up as we head throughout the next few days, once we head into the latter part of the week and on through the weekend and into the start of next work week. And that ridge is going to keep us, it looks like, fairly dry as we head on into that long stretch of time. And once we head on into later next week, you can see by Tuesday and Wednesday, not the deep reds, but some of those lighter reds that are showing up over more BC and Alberta, that starts to scoot its way farther to the east, and that may help with leading to some warmer conditions as we head on into that point and time, as we head on into Wednesday and Tuesday. So looking at that on your forecast here, next 7-day stretch, high temperatures go from the upper 60s and low 70s up into those low to mid 80s, something we can handle, all the way up into the mid 80s Tuesday, where we see that ridge of high pressure start to take a little more of a hold on the area for us. And that'll be about 10 degrees above where we should normally be for this time of the year. So yeah, it could be a little hot at that point. But for tonight, should be comfortable. Lows dropping down into those mid to upper 50s. A little warm for this time of the year, but that's because we'll have extra clouds in place. Then as we head into the day tomorrow, we'll see a lot of widespread 60s. Orcas Island getting up to 67, 66 in Bellingham, topping off at 64 in Mount Vernon. South of there, Oak Harbor, Coopville, Clinton, all in the low to mid 60s. Marysville, same for you too, 65. Monroe topping off at 66. We'll be in the mid to upper 60s around Kingston and Poulsbo, just probably barely staying in the 70s around Shoreline, or 60s, sorry, around Shoreline and Seattle. Maybe getting up into the 70s around Bremerton, and seeing those higher chances of getting up closer to the 70-degree mark again farther south, because we are going to have maybe a little while before we get that rain to start to pick up for us down this way around Pierce and Thurston counties. Should continue south, not a whole lot really changing for us. Upper 60s, low 70s, low 60s out towards the coast, and up this way around the Olympic Peninsula, a lot of 50s and 60s showing up for our highs heading into Wednesday afternoon. Forecast as we head here over the next 7-day stretch will keep us more so in those 80s. Yeah, it's going to be a cool down here for the next couple of days, but all in all, still looking like a pretty decent and summer-like forecast, and thankfully, again, not too much heat. A little warm as we head throughout the weekend, and definitely by next Tuesday. But all in all, we're going to keep a little more of that onshore flow push, which will keep things from getting as hot as sometimes, no, it can be during this time of the year. All right, so don't get caught off guard if you're going to be up across Skagit and Whatcom County tomorrow, or across more Clallam County. Could see a few raindrops out as you head out into early tomorrow morning. But for the rest of us, we'll see how much rain we can get out of the system as we head on into Wednesday. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the cool down, and we'll talk to you soon.